Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam amma ba'da habita fillah. The question was asked about, or actually it wasn't a question, but a statement was made about making takfir of the Muslim governments, especially some of the most compliant governments that are known for propagating the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in their countries, and especially known for propagating tawheed in their institutions, and the ulama in general flourish as far as being supported and the dawah being supported in the country. And so a particular young youth, may Allah guide us in him and rectify our condition in his, referred to them as murtad, and he used as his mouthpiece the statements of one of the prevalent du'at ashar from the 90s, known as Faisal Jamaica, and in the circles that support him, they say Shaikh Faisal. And this is an individual that is well known to Ahl Sunnah in the West, especially in the UK, and perhaps to a greater or lesser extent in America, for his deviance and his excessive takfir. So much so that I've spoken to some individuals that used to sit in his study circles and that are strong students of knowledge now, walillah alhamd, and who mentioned that he used to make takfir so much, and the way he used to make takfir for the things he did, that they used to wonder if he literally was a bit insane, that maybe he was a little sick and tainted intellectually. Now, this is not to, well, in fact, this is to call into question his credibility, because it's well known if you listen to his tapes and if you have any understanding of the deen, he was very charismatic and very good at painting a picture, but without real dalil. Dalil is qala Allah wa qala Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Although he used hadith, he used ayat, but his istidlal, and this is what comes from knowledge. You're not going to gain this unless you study. Istidlal is how you use those nusus. It's not simply, for example, I can say this is a banana. Instead of a cell phone, this is a banana. And then I could say, قال الله تعالى في كتاب الكريم وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, في كتاب الكريم, I have not created mankind and jinn except for the purpose of worshiping me. And I can call this a banana. And so, if we look at what I said, I gave you an ayat, and then I made a claim. But the claim has no relationship to that ayat, nor does that ayat support the claim that I'm making. This would be istidlal batil. This is a false istidlal. It's not proper use of evidence. We did use evidence. I used evidence from the Quran, but it had nothing to do with the issue. This is what you find in much of the speech of Faisal. And I'll give you one example that I recall. I'm not even going to the books. I'm not going back to tapes. I don't have time for that. And mashallah, jazakallah khairan to our brother Abdul Haq Ashanti. He wrote a very nice book. Also in my master's thesis, you'll find it on the internet, called The Khawarij, the Creed of Takfir, the Creed of Declaring a Muslim to be a Disbeliever, by Craig Green. So you can type that in, and you'll find that on the internet for free. And I use extensive statements from Faisal himself. And so the point being is that there was no relationship between that text, that claim, and the text. And you'll find this immensely with Faisal. And so Faisal here, one of the statements he said he was declaring all the Arab countries to be disbelieving countries. And here's what his hujjah. Hujjah means his evidence for this. He said, and I'll never forget this. This is just one of the many. You could find hundreds of statements. And Jazakallah khairan, Abdul Haq Ashanti, in his book, he's chronicled and and given many examples. So Faisal said, he said, they must be disbelievers. Okay, this is a paraphrase of what he said. They must be disbelievers for Israel to be sitting in the middle of all these so-called Muslim countries. They have to be disbelievers for them to exist. Is this an evidence from the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? What relationship does that have to Kitabillah wa Sunnah to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Because the issue of takfir and the issue of tabdi' and the issue of tafsiq, these are, as Sheikh Abdulaziz al-Raji mentions, and before him many, Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, and this is from the Salaf, that takfir, wa tabdi' wa tafsiq are sharia issues. And we only make takfir of those who Allah makes takfir of. And we only make takfir of those who the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam makes takfir of. And the ulama, they have their ijtihadat from that. They make their ijtihad from that. And we don't know of any text which support the fact that Israel exists as a state or as a Zionist entity, that yastalzim or necessitates making takfir of a Muslim or Muslim countries or Muslim leaders. We don't know of any text like that. If you have some of this, please share it with us in the comments, and maybe we can, look at it. But I know it's batil anyhow. I'm just giving you a challenge for the sake of rhetoric, but a rhetorical argument. But the point being, habitafillah, is don't be deceived by those wicked deviants. Walillah alhamd, that Allah has already exposed and imprisoned, in fact. And they're not imprisoned because of their adherence to the Sunnah. Faisal is not imprisoned for that. Abu Hamza Misri is not imprisoned for that. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is not targeted for his adherence to the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Messenger of Allah. But in fact, because these are the people of extremism, of ghulu, who went beyond Kitabillah, were beyond Sunnah to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with their whims and their wicked, sinful behavior and brutality. And because they follow the Sunnah of the Khawarij, who the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Khawarij kilab an-nar, the Khawarij are the dogs of the hellfire. And we ask Allah the Almighty to accept our good and forgive our evil. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad.